Okay, let's see the additional information. This is the fourth one. We must concentrate to third bullet. We already calculated and discussed what is that first bullet and second bullet. Third bullet is relating to office equipment. Okay, let's see. Information relating to office equipment is as follows. Look here. Date of acquisition. There is a acquisition date 1st April 2024. This is the opening date acquisition. This is an opening date acquisition. This is the opening date. Opening date acquisition. 30,000 cost. Useful lifetime 5. Okay. First 10th 2024. This is the after 6 months. Okay, after 6 months there is another acquisition 20,000 costs. This is the total cost is 50,000. We can find that total cost where total cost there is a trial balance. No, look here. Office equipment cost 50,000. Okay, already they calculated and already accounted 50,000 cost. Okay, next one, look here. After that they said that estimated residual value of office equipment is 0. Okay, there is no residual value. There is an easy guideline for depreciation. This is the residual value was impacted to annual depreciation. There is no residual value. Next one, the office equipment has been depreciated. They already done for the entire year without considering the acquisition date. Okay, they already depreciated without considering the acquisition date. You know, there is a several acquisition date. Based on that we must calculate the annual depreciation some months or some year for year. At that time there is no consideration, without consideration of acquisition date. Therefore we must prepare. They already depreciated, no, therefore we must identify the property, plant and equipment note. At that time we already identified what is that, the manufacturing plant. Therefore I use this structure. Okay, this is a manufacturing plant. No, I eliminate these amounts. Okay, these amounts. I create property, plant and equipment. This is a note for office equipment. There is a office equipment. There is a wrong value. Okay, there's don't think about the wrong value column. This is the actual office equipment. Okay, this is the closing balance. No, this is the closing balance. After that, this is the another closing balance is there. Cumulated depreciation. Okay, cumulated depreciation. After that, closing carrying value. Okay, let's see. First of all, we must identify the cost of the asset. Okay, firstly they said that there is a acquisition. No, acquisition, you know, this company was commenced in opening date. No, therefore we must firstly concentrate to cost. This is all assets, the 50,000 in the trial balance you see are acquisition at the current year. Therefore all 50,000 acquisitions can be identified as acquisitions of equipment. Therefore additions you must identify 50,000. Therefore we can create closing balance of 50,000. Okay, after that we must identify the cumulated depreciation column. At that time they already calculated cumulated depreciation or annual depreciation. They said that the depreciation amount information. Look here. The office equipment has been depreciated for the entire year without considering the acquisition date. Therefore, I calculate the error depreciated amount, annual depreciation, without considering these dates. Okay, therefore, I prepare. Look here, what is the annual depreciation? Without acquisition date, has been depreciated entire year. Therefore, I prepared entire year wrong annual depreciation for office equipment. How can we calculate? You know the formula. Cost minus residual value. Cost minus residual value divided in lifetime. Firstly, I calculate this one. Okay, acquisition 30,000 minus, there is no residual value, divided in 5, useful lifetime 5. What is the annual depreciation? 6,000. For this one, without considering the acquisition date, I depreciate to this 20,000. Therefore, I depreciate calculation, use this. What is that? 20,000. No, 20,000 is a cost. There is no residual value, divided in 5. Answer is 4. What is the total annual depreciation? 10,000. They already accounted 10,000 depreciation. At the 10,000 depreciation, what is the locations? You know, office equipment annual depreciation double entry, expense, depreciation expense debit, cumulated depreciation credit, wrong value of 10,000. We can see the 10,000 in the, look here, depreciation expense debit. No, expense is here. Look here, depreciation of office equipment 10,000. This is the wrong value. Okay, I calculate in future the right value. Okay, this is the office equipment depreciation expense. The another short is cumulated depreciation. Look here, cumulated depreciation credit. There is another one, cumulated depreciation office equipment credit 10,000. This is the wrong value. Therefore, we must enter the newly entered new values. New values means correct value we should be entered to the property, plant and equipment. What are the correct values? Look here. Eliminate the wrong values. 10,000. We must calculate correct values. How can we calculate? I use this formula, but considering this acquisition date. Look here, I calculate correct depreciation. Okay, what is that? This is the acquisition date of 1st April 2024. Okay, this is the opening date acquisition. Therefore, we can depreciate all entire year. Okay, 1st of April 2024 acquisition date. They depreciate this. The asset was depreciated entire year at the end of 31st March 2025. Therefore, we can calculate annual depreciation for 30,000. Therefore, 30,000 minus residual value is 0, divided in 5, 6,000. 6,000 is annual depreciation for this one. After that, next one, the next asset was acquired after the 6 months period, 1st 10th 2024. Look here, I explain you what is that. What is the period of our period? 31st March 2025. Okay, what is the opening date? 1st April 2024. after the 6 months was, what is the date? 1st of 10th 2024. Okay, this is the acquisition date of second asset. After that we must calculate starting date from this day to this date. This is the depreciation and using for available for using this asset is this 6 months. There is 6 months to this date to this date. Okay, therefore we must calculate 6 months depreciation. Okay, after that we must calculate 6 months depreciation for this 20,000 asset. Therefore I calculate again 6 months depreciation. Okay, the formula is same. Cost is 20,000. Cost is 20,000 minus residual is 0. I divided in useful lifetime 5. The annual depreciation we can identify 4,000. But this is the annual depreciation. We must calculate 6 months depreciation. Therefore 4,000 into 6 months is divided in 12 multiplied by 6. The answer is 2,000. After that we can calculate the correct annual depreciation was 8,000. Therefore we must consider the 8,000 annual depreciation for a note. Look here, we must identify this is the office equipment note. Using this one, the annual depreciation of office equipment, correct one, is 8,000. Okay, after that we can calculate closing balance. This is the annual depreciation. Closing balance is 8,000 minus, okay, what is the carrying amount is 42,000. Okay, this is the end of the property, plant and equipment note. Therefore we can create the answer sheet. Okay, okay, let's see the answer sheet. This is our answer sheet. Company structure. We go to the property, plant and equipment. This is a manufacturing plant was already done. We must prepare, what is that? Office equipment. Office equipment. Okay, office equipment. Okay, what is the addition? Addition is, what is the amount? Addition is 50,000. This is the addition. No? After that we can calculate this one, final balance. After that annual depreciation 8,000. This is the annual depreciation. The cumulated final closing balance is 8,000. 50,000 minus 8,000 is 42,000. After that we must identify the annual depreciation as expense in administration expense. 8,000 is annual depreciation for office equipment. This is related to where? Administration expense. Therefore I go to the administration expense and 8,000 should be added to office equipment depreciation. Office equipment depreciation is 8,000. Why I write this one? They already entered this cumulated depreciation and annual depreciation in the trial balance. Therefore I correctly entered to the correct locations. What is the locations? Administration and administration expense and cumulated depreciation note. Okay, at that time we must select that the administration expense, this one, the depreciation of manufacturing plant was already done. We already carried depreciation of office equipment. Expense was done. The correct one was extracted. After that, we can identified already the office equipment cost is done. Cumulated depreciation, wrong value 10,000 was done. Therefore, in next video we must meet another adjustment. This is lease agreement. Therefore, we meet in, this is the adjustment number 5. In next video we meet lease adjustment.